Dear colleagues and friends in the steering committee on ESD, I'm one of the so-called young dinosaurs who already attended in the first meeting. Time flies like an arrow is a common phrase to illustrate how time, in our case 20 years, can pass very quickly. And I may add to this sentence a humorous saying that is used in linguistics to show the ambiguity of the English language. When time flies like an arrow, then fruit flies like a banana. I also add my apologies to the interpreters into French and Russian, which may have a hard time translating this pun. I still remember the first meeting of the steering committee 20 years ago. It was my first time at the UN in Geneva, and I had to go through security. Back then it was in a small building opposite the former main entrance at the Place des Nations. I stood in a very long queue that stretched from the entrance through narrow corridors. The soldiers stood with machine guns all the way to the first floor. When it was finally my turn, I was told that I had to fill out a registration form which I will get downstairs at the entrance. So I went back and had to queue up again. Compared to today, the security check at the new entrance takes only the blink of an eye. Okay, maybe as long as the blink of an eye after a multi-course meal in the wonderful cafeteria when you're sitting in the windowless hall under artificial light again. But to be more serious, what really impressed me back then were the vast differences in the education systems of the participating countries. The term ESD wasn't widely used at the time. Many countries had a more narrow understanding as environmental education or eco-pedagogy. But that was and still is the great advantage of this committee, looking beyond national borders and learning from one another. The longevity of this committee is thanks to the tireless efforts of the chair, the secretariat, the bureau, and the many experts from the member states. Thank you all. Stay on the topic. Support the committee on ESD not only with your expertise, but also financially. Then there is no doubt that this committee will stay on track for another 20 years. I send my heartfelt greetings from Vienna and wish you all a wonderful evening.